You okay?
I literally haven't changed my outfit in like 2 days.
I'm sick of it!
I just can't get it together today. Not okay. All of us have problems.
Welcome back to It's Okay, the podcast. Buckle up, you guys. We have a lot to talk about today. But before we get into that, how are you doing? Leave in the comments below, how are things going for you? Like, what is up in your world? Because everything that's going on in America today is absolutely insane. There's like so much, you know what? It's always something going on. There's never not anything going on. If we think that we're always or gonna have some glimpses of peace, yeah, no, we're totally wrong about that. But in today's episode, we are discussing the Mississippi fraud scandal. And the reason I wanted to discuss this is because we've been hearing about the Minnesota fraud scandal and how it's like the biggest fraud scandal in American history, potentially, or the biggest fraud scandal in Minnesota history, potentially. But as you're hearing about that, or as I was hearing about that, they were attaching it to the Mississippi fraud scandal, right? And I'm actually going to Mississippi at the end of February. So all of this just kind of got me thinking. I'm like, I'm going to Mississippi next month. And they keep mentioning on the news this huge Mississippi fraud scandal. And I actually knew about it, but didn't know about it. And I'm like, do you know about it? Because it was not, maybe it was. And when all of this was going down, I was not in the news. I was not into politics. I didn't care about any of this stuff. All I cared about was partying and boys. So I kind of heard a little bit about it. And now I know way more about it. And it's so shocking. It's actually not that shocking because you put people in political power or over your state, and of course they're going to look out for themselves and their friends, and they're not actually going to look out for their constituents and people in that state who they're supposed to actually be caring about. So yeah, when I started researching this a little bit more, my jaw dropped to the floor. So all of this was going on in like 2020, like before COVID, and of course the scandal was going on years prior to COVID. That's how they were able to rack up all these M's. But the name attached to it was Brett Favre. Now, like I heard like, oh, Brett Favre was involved in this scandal, like when it was going on. But because he's like this famous NFLer, of course, like he's going to be the predominant person that everyone's speaking about. Yeah, freaking right. So these are the people who were implicated and found guilty due to text messages, court records, and things that they actually signed their name on, right? You've got Phil Bryant, who I've actually heard of because I lived in the state of Mississippi, and you see his name like on the signs when they're running for office. You see their names on the side of the road and stuff like that. You hear them on the news. Phil Bryant was the former Mississippi governor. Then you have John Davis, who was the welfare agency director. Then you have Nancy New, who was the head of a nonprofit and worked with the welfare state agency. You have Zach New, her son. Got to get your kids involved in your scams. Really, ma'am? He probably wanted to be involved. He may have given her the idea. I don't know. And then you've got Brett Favre. So these people are heavily implicated in these crimes, right? So now we heard about Brett Favre, right? He potentially somehow, or well, there wasn't somehow, he was definitely given the money. But he funded a volleyball court or field for his daughter, pretty much, or not necessarily exactly for his daughter, but his daughter was on the volleyball team at USM, and to create this volleyball field while his daughter was on the team. So of course you're going to be like, yeah, no, he did that for his daughter. And like, that was like the big headline at the time, right? And it wasn't just that. Now the volleyball field or court, I don't even know what even that is. I don't know. I saw what it looked like and I'm like, there's such thing as like a volleyball field, like what? But yeah, no, that cost $5 million. But overall, these 5 people scammed $77 million in temporary assistance for needy families. So it was a welfare scam that the nonprofit, which Nancy knew was over, scammed out of the Mississippi State Welfare Fund. So I didn't even know this, but Mississippi receives $86 million in federal funds for welfare each year. And that is today. I don't even know what they were receiving back then. It may have been less. I feel like everything that states receive from the federal government or the federal government receives from our taxes, it always goes up and up and up. Taxes go up in this state, so the federal fund goes up for this, and they raise our taxes so that they can fund this, and it's all a huge scam. It's genuinely a huge scam. But yeah, that's what Mississippi receives each year, $86 million. So they used $77 million of the $86 million that they received on literal garbage, you guys. Purchased Phil Bryant, the former Mississippi governor. They purchased him, Nancy, with the funds that she received for her nonprofit, a Chevy Yukon SUV. I'm like, ma'am, y'all use the funds to purchase a Chevy Yukon? If you're gonna scam, you might as well go all out. Really? A Yukon? Anyways. And gave unlimited access to an American Express card, which is absolutely crazy. You mean to tell me we pay taxes, our taxes are paid into this welfare fund, and the welfare fund has an American Express card somehow? I don't even understand that. That does not make sense. That should not be a thing. But apparently it was, and gave this man unlimited access to an American Express card. So freaking wild, you guys. These people are terrible people. So not only that, okay, all of this was going on. There was an actual woman who on I think it was WLBT News, or one of the local news stations in Mississippi, right? Jackson, Mississippi. This is all out of Jackson, Mississippi too. One woman on the news, I think her name is either Tamara or Tamara Edwards. I'm pretty sure it's Tamara Edwards. Applied for benefits and was denied. She was told they didn't have enough funding for it, which absolutely makes no sense. You mean to tell me you get $86 million in federal funds, and you mean to tell me you guys don't have enough funding for certain people? That should fund like everyone in the state. Like, I don't know how many people lived in Mississippi in 2020, but currently there's like 1.3 million people who live in Mississippi. So you have 1.3 million and you're receiving 77 million. That's not making sense. Let's actually calculate that real quick. 77 million divided by 1 million. What is that per person? What? You mean to tell me you can't give someone funds for what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. And she went on the actual news for this because this woman is a hardworking single mother. I think she had like 3 children. She says that she doesn't always need federal funds, but that year she did, and she was denied. And she was like, wait, why was I denied? And then they gave her that excuse, and it didn't make any sense, and she didn't understand it at the time either. And then you go 2 years in and all of this comes out, right? So John Davis, behind all of this, was sentenced to 32 years behind this crime. He was found guilty. Now, John Davis was the welfare agency director, right? So he's the director over the welfare fund. And so he's implicated in all this. He, the director, is receiving federal funds from the government and is supposed to be, along with the office and the workers in the office who are underneath John Davis, supposed to be allocating these funds out to people. They weren't allocating these funds out. No. John Davis was giving the funds to Phil, giving the funds to Nancy, and apparently Brett Favre, who is a amazing NFL player, so I'm told, and doesn't need welfare funds, but somehow was receiving welfare money. And yeah, doesn't make any sense. Now, Brett Favre apparently only took $1.1 million for speeches that he never gave. And apparently he paid all of the money back, which is good on him, but he owes $200,000 in interests. Now, that was something I had saw a couple of weeks ago, so I don't know if he's paid on his interest or whatever the case is, but apparently, you know, he's a famous NFLer, so he been had money. These people did not have money and were stealing money from the federal government and Mississippians. And so they were not able to pay their money back. They literally spent all the money on cars, on luxury houses, on luxury trips, and doing all type of just stupid stuff. They were hiring pro wrestlers. Now, on the news and in like the court records, which some of them are sealed in certain people's cases, which I'll get into that. But yeah, no, I don't even still to this day understand, like, what were you hiring pro wrestlers for? That doesn't make any type of sense. Are you kidding me? So the other people implicated in this are Latimer Smith, whose case is under seal. You've got Brett. I don't even know how to pronounce this last name. I heard it on the news and knew how to pronounce it when they said it, but it's been like a couple of weeks, so I don't know how to pronounce this. But it's Dibiase, Dibiase. I think that's how you say it. Brett Dibiase, who is just a rando. And then you've got Christy Webb, who is another nonprofit owner who was wrapped up in this as well. And then you've got Ted Dibiase Jr. Now, Ted is a pro wrestler who they hired, and Brett Dibiase is his brother who was implicated in all this. Now, Ted Jr. is actually fighting the charges and pled not guilty. The rest of everyone who I have named, Phil Bryant, John Davis, Nancy New, Jack New, Brett Favre was actually kind of not charged in all of this. I think because he ended up paying the funds back and probably had a good lawyer and, you know, says that he doesn't know where the money came from that he was given for the speeches that he didn't give, laissez-faire, whatever, which probably is true on his end. But then again, there was some text messages between him and Nancy that do seem a little sketchy. Like he was kind of bragging about, oh, got the money or something like that. And it's like, what? Brett, what? Anyway, so these people, including Latimer Smith, the Brett and Ted Dibiase brother wrestler duo, and Christy Webb, another nonprofit owner, they have all, aside from Ted, pled guilty. Now, this was in 2020, right? When all of this was going on. The only person who is currently in jail for this is only Phil Bryant. The rest of them have pled guilty and are still awaiting their sentences, you guys. That's so screwed up. It doesn't even make sense. I understand COVID was going on, right? A lot of stuff was pushed back. A lot of stuff was done, like not done by the book during COVID. So they, of course, delayed their sentencing and all of this stuff, but it's still awaiting sentencing 5 years later. And Nancy New and Zach New are out on bond. So they posted bond. I think their bond was like $100,000 or something like that. But yeah, I don't even know if they're still in Mississippi, just living a life, waiting for sentencing, or if they've moved out of the state entirely. I'm not even sure. But I think that is absolutely wild. These people frauded Mississippians, pled guilty to it. There's no like, oh, we're fighting the trial. They've only got one person fighting it, the pro wrestler who they did hire. And I guess these people are implicated in it. Like, you knew that you were frauding Mississippians. But I mean, if you hire someone and they get money from a scam, how much do they really know? I don't know. But apparently they knew something, because they were charged. And sometimes everyone goes down. And yeah, I just think it's absolutely sick. It's absolutely sick. And these people frauded Mississippians out of $77 million. $1 million. You pay your taxes and it's going to fraud. It's going to fraud. Yeah, no, that's wild. I was in that state paying taxes and it went to fraud. And it's crazy how you don't even know any of this is going on. Like, you're not involved. Like, you don't even know. I definitely didn't know. Like I said, I just heard, oh, Brett Favre, he's involved in a scandal, in a welfare fraud scandal. That's like all I really heard about it. Brett Favre, he's involved in a welfare fraud scandal. I'm pretty sure it was reported on quite nicely, but I just was, partying and boys, so didn't know anything about it. But a journalist, Anna Wolf, won a Pulitzer Prize for local reporting on this in 2023. So that is very interesting to me. I had never heard of Anna Wolf. I don't know what she looks like or what was going on with that, but yeah, she was doing local reporting on it and won a Pulitzer Prize, which is a great prize to win as a journalist. So she definitely got the scoop, and she let us know about the scoop, and the scoop is scooping. Okay. So yeah, like, as I was hearing about all the stuff that was going on in Minnesota, it was linked to Mississippi, and it was like, this beats, the news people were pretty much like, this beats the Mississippi fraud scandal, because apparently that was like the biggest one ever, apparently, and this one beats it with billions. It's not in the millions like in Mississippi, it's in the billions. You've already got, in this case here, it was only like 10 people. Yeah, you've got, hold on, let me see, it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 people. Yeah, less than 10 people. And when it comes to the Minnesota fraud scandal, already 76 people have been convicted. They say that 90% of the people are Somali, from Somalia. I have never really been like that aware of Somalia and like Somalian people and like that part of Africa. I like, this is just kind of like my first time hearing about it like that. There's so many countries in Africa. I still don't know all of them. I probably know like 2. I take that back. I probably know 5. I'm like, what? A Somalia? Who? A Somalian? What? But yeah, apparently these people are frauding it up in Minnesota. And I know you have heard about like the fraud daycare scandal. That right there, like, okay, I get it. Everyone is proven innocent until guilty. Whatever. That's guilty. Like, I don't care what no one say. Every single daycare that they have been showing on footage, first of all, I could understand if like, okay, the Somalians created daycares for them. Okay, you're not supposed to discriminate in America, so anyone should be able to come to the daycare, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, like whatever. You should be able to put your kid in a daycare. But if it was just for them, I would be like, okay. But because we live in America and we're not supposed to discriminate on race, what type of person would take their kids to this daycare? First of all, the windows are blacked out. I would be like, what are y'all doing in there to them kids? What's going on? Why are the windows blacked out? Why can we not see inside? Absolutely not. I get the whole thing, like you shouldn't be able to just walk into a daycare like, okay. Blacked out windows though? Absolutely not. And then the men coming out screaming, I would be like, y'all is not watching my kids. Absolutely not. That is, that's very troubling. No, thank you. I would be like, y'all are not. I don't care if there are women inside with their hijabs and looking sweet and innocent, with them men coming out yelling, my kids is not going up in there. Absolutely not. So that's another thing. I'm like, really, you guys? I've never seen like a woman who is, you have women who have daycares, who do daycares out of their house. Their windows are not blacked out. You have regular daycare centers. Their windows are not blacked out. So yeah, no, that's super freaking sketchy. Now, like the multiple businesses ran out of places, I don't think that that's that strange, right? Because when I think about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe they're Somali and like, yeah, maybe they're doing fraud. But for that type of situation, it's like, okay, yeah, innocent until proven guilty. Because you look at like Walmart, there's multiple businesses that are ran in Walmart. Yeah, you've got like people who have a hair salon in Walmart. Like, is that actually Walmart's hair salon? I don't think so. But I'm pretty sure they get like a commission or a profit, if you will, because this person is running their business out of Walmart. And then you've got Subway inside of Walmart or whatever restaurant inside of Walmart. You've got like nail salons run out of Walmart and other they have like phone places that you can do. And then, too, I haven't seen this necessarily in the Asian market, but definitely in the Mexican markets, like, they have, the only ones that I've seen are, they'll have food, which I'm pretty sure is ran by the actual Mexican market itself. But they'll have like phone fix-it, phone repair and stuff like that. And that's probably ran by the Mexican market owners as well, because their franchises are way smaller than like Walmart. So it's neither here nor there. But when it comes to the Somali ones that I've seen in Minnesota, where there's literally like a place that you can buy like all this weird looking furniture and like weird looking clothes, and then you've got like, I mean, yeah, it does look a little sketch though. Like if you go inside, like if you're gonna have even the Mexican markets, which it sounds bad for me saying that, like even the but theirs look very well put together, very established. It does not look like how it looked in the Somali little like multi-business building franchise is. It looks like sweatshop-ish. It looks like you are in some third world country in Africa when you go inside the camera footage that we've seen. No offense, not racist. I don't think I've ever even met a Somalian, let alone could tell you the difference between one. Like if I see one, like, oh, that's a Somalian, like I wouldn't know. So yeah, no, can't be racist about that. But yeah, it definitely looked third worldish when you went inside. And then the whole quality learning center thing where like y'all really didn't put the word learning on the building right, and it's blacked out. I don't think so. Yeah, no, my kids would not be going in there. But yeah, apparently this is I don't know, like I said, if it's the biggest fraud scandal in American history or if it's in Minnesota history. But their predictions are it could be up to $90 billion. I mean, they're already surpassed. They're in the billions. It's in the billions. They're just trying to see how many B's it's being, which is absolutely wild. And then like, okay, I get it. Like, oh my gosh, everybody does fraud. And Like, oh, the government sucks, like fraud them, like who cares? But I mean, hey, if we want to be good people, and I mean, God is watching, right? Like, we're going to have to answer for all this one day. And like, I don't know. I don't think we should be okay with it. No, we shouldn't be okay with it, because I know I don't want to be frauded, and it shouldn't be done on a small scale, and it shouldn't be done on a big scale either. Government trashy or not. And I don't like our government either. Definitely don't like our government. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to dive in and discuss that Mississippi fraud. I'm literally in the state, living here, and know nothing about any of this. And that's usually how it is a lot of the times. There's so much crap going on in our own state, in our own city, in our own lives that we're just so oblivious to. And it'd be like that. But yeah, I will be going to Mississippi, like I said, at the end of February. I'm so excited. I was supposed to go actually at the beginning of this month, January, but didn't work out. It just so happened to work out for the end of February. I'm so excited. I haven't been back home, born and raised Mississippi, in 2 years. So I'm just super excited. In previous episodes, I mentioned that my younger sister had her first child, a baby boy, so beautiful. My nephew, I'm so excited to meet him. He is so sweet, so cute. She is breastfeeding. She's still breastfeeding, and I'm so proud of her. There's everything wrong with formula, but I understand sometimes we can't breastfeed and we have to go with that option, which does suck that we have to rely on those metal, chemical, powdered substances to feed our babies. And I mean, it's kind of designed that way in a sense by our own government, might I add. Our horrible government, might I add. But it is what it is. But I am still very proud of her for breastfeeding. So shout out to you, sis. She's literally like breastfeeding like clock round, like literally baby always on the nipple. And yeah, I'm just really proud of her for that. But I'm still just so freaking excited to see him. He's going to be so sweet and so cute. But also at the same time, I'm like, I wish he was like running around and talking already. Like, it's not going to be fun. Like, I'm just going to be like looking at him and holding him. And he's just going to be looking at me, so oblivious and doesn't even know what's going on. But it's fine because I love him already and he's so cute. But yeah, I'm going to be going back to Mississippi. And so that's, yeah, another reason why I recorded this episode. And was even thinking about this episode because of the Mississippi fraud scandal. Whenever they were mentioning it on the news, I'm like, what was going on? And then they started mentioning Brett Favre, and I was like, oh, wow. That's what that was when all of that was going on. Wow. You always hear, like, as it's going on, you know, you never get all the facts until like years later, like COVID, right? Like, oh, we thought COVID was like this super scary thing, which I mean, it was. Millions of people died. Yeah, no, for sure. But we find out 5 years later that literally our government created the coronavirus in a lab, and then it accidentally got out in China and then went around the world. It actually went around the world once before everybody actually even got sick, so they say. But yeah, no, everybody got sick and it was our government's fault. They literally created the virus. Like, what the heck? What the heck are you guys doing? And I'm so still pissed about that. Like, no one's going to go to jail. Anthony Fauci, he's not going to go to jail. All of the scientists who were manipulating the virus, like, no, they're not going to go to jail. Whatever China had to do with it, they're not going to be held accountable. Like, nothing's going to happen to those people. And like, our lives were effed during that time period. And like, so many people just, yeah, no, a lot of things went to hell for some people. And some people, millions of people died. And yeah, no one's going to be held accountable. It's sick. It's actually very, very sick. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is what it is. Find out years later and take it on the chin, I guess. Take it on the chin. whatever. And then also you find out that like even Obama was like, guys, stop, I'm banning this, don't do it. And they even ignored that guy. Obama. I'm still gonna do an episode about that guy. Crooked. But anyway, that was just my spiel on the Mississippi fraud and the Minnesota fraud and everything that's going on in Minnesota too. Oh my God, immigration and everything. Like, it's just crazy. We all have our opinions. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I respect your opinion, and I hope you respect mine. And look, hey, remember, dude, all this crap, all these situations, all this fraud, all this, it's totally okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay.
All of us have problems.